Hi, I'm Frank Brooks.
I'm Eileen Glisson.
I'm Jean-Louis Dacier.
Welcome to our presentation about our Spanish and French education K-12 programs at Indiana University of Pennsylvania. The purpose of this presentation is to provide you with an overview of unique aspects of our programs that prepare Spanish and French teachers to provide a 21st century education to K-12 students in these languages. At IUP, we believe that it takes an entire educational community to prepare foreign language teachers. We invite you to visit our website listed on this slide. Please feel free to contact us for more information.
The primary person in our community is, of course, the teacher candidate. We would like to give you some background information that is important in understanding how our community works.
Our teacher candidates earn a Bachelor of Science in French or Spanish Education, K-12. One unique aspect of our programs is that candidates must demonstrate a high level of proficiency in both speaking and writing in the language they will be teaching. Therefore, to qualify for the final semester of student teaching, candidates are required to perform at a minimum level of Advanced Low on the Oral Proficiency Interview, the OPI, and the Writing Proficiency Test, the WPT, on the scale developed by the American Council on the Teaching of Foreign Languages, ACTFL. These proficiency guidelines can be found at www.actfl.org, the ACTFL website, in the Guidelines and Manuals section under Publications. Another unique aspect of our programs is that candidates must participate in at least one study abroad experience of at least 4 weeks in length. We offer programs in France, Spain, Costa Rica, among other possibilities.
One of the ways in which we assist our candidates is to provide continually updated student handbooks, which contain the expectations and current information about our programs. All teacher candidates at IUP follow a 3-step process to guide them through to teacher certification. Another unique aspect of our programs in French and Spanish is an additional step in the sophomore year called the Mid-Program Review. This benchmark step provides an opportunity to assess our candidates' progress in speaking and writing proficiency and professional development. We have evidence that indicates that our candidates are successful in reaching high levels of proficiency because they spend a great deal of time communicating with others in the foreign language outside of class.
Now you will hear one of our current teacher candidates in Spanish describing how he believes our Spanish education program is preparing him to be successful as a language teacher.
It goes hand in hand with study abroad is instead of taking the Spanish content test to be able to become a teacher, this university is focused more on being able to speak the language in the classroom instead of being able to answer comprehension questions on the test, which is important, which goes hand in hand also with the classes that we have here, where the teacher has to be able to speak the language in front of the students instead of speaking in English. And it really is connected to the theory that we learn here. And if the teacher can't speak the language, which, like I already said, goes hand in hand with the study abroad experience, then it's really not, it doesn't connect to the learning or the theory that we learn in class.
Another essential member of our educational community is the group of university professors who teach language and content courses such as culture, literature, and linguistics in the Department of Foreign Languages.
You will first hear from the chair of the Department of Foreign Languages, who will explain the role of the department in preparing our teacher candidates.
That every faculty member would be committed to the teacher education candidates, and perhaps to a certain degree cognizant of what makes teacher candidates special, and the very specific and direct sort of role that they're going to have in society, and we ought to be respectful and responsive to that. It's our job.
Secondly, you will hear a professor of Spanish explain the ways in which she collaborates with teacher candidates inside and outside of class to assist them in achieving the required levels of proficiency in speaking and writing. This type of dedication on the part of our language professors is what sets us apart from many other teacher preparation programs.
And do you do most of this conversation in your office?
No, oh no. I'm everywhere I am. over the phone, at a coffee shop, in the hallway, in the elevator, anywhere I can find my students or anywhere I can find the students that I'm working with. This is a constant process. You cannot separate. Once the student leaves your classroom, we believe, or we tend to think that that's the end of it, and then we close our office doors and that we're done with the job. No, we're not done. Teaching a foreign language or teaching a language that is not your own doesn't happen in a vacuum. You have to teach constantly. Whenever you see them, whenever you cross them in the hallways, whenever you see them in the coffee shop, you need to teach culture as well with the language. So that is part of teaching a language. You have to teach culture, and you cannot stop it as soon as you leave your classroom. It's constant.
Another key member of our community is the group of university supervisors. We provide close advising of candidates from the time they enter our programs as freshmen until they complete student teaching and earn certification. We are proud to report that we have nearly 100% placement of our graduates into teaching positions in Pennsylvania, in many other states, and even abroad.
Another component that sets us apart from other universities is our specialist model of supervision. This means that in addition to teaching language and culture courses, we also teach methodology courses and supervise field placement experiences such as student teaching. In the sophomore year, our candidates complete their first methodology course, in which they learn about approaches for teaching younger learners, which is followed by the first field experience in a rural elementary school. Prior to student teaching, our candidates complete their second methodology course that prepares them to teach in a middle or high school setting. Concurrently with this course, candidates complete the second field experience, which is in an urban setting. Finally, after all coursework is completed and requisite proficiency levels are met, candidates complete a full semester of student teaching at the secondary level. Teaching methodology courses and supervising field experiences enable us to enjoy a unique type of collaboration with the IUP College of Education and Educational Technology.
Faculty and administrators in the IUP College of Education and Educational Technology also play a significant role in preparing our teacher candidates. Faculty teach a variety of core education courses, such as educational psychology, students with disabilities in inclusive secondary settings, and instruction of English language learners with special needs, among others. College of Ed administrators assume a variety of important responsibilities, such as assisting candidates with state licensing testing requirements, obtaining necessary clearances, and arranging for field placements.
In this clip, you will hear Dr. Lori Nicholson, Dean's Associate and Field Experience Director, discuss both the selection of field placement sites and the unique collaboration we enjoy.
Well, we really count on the expertise and the knowledge base of all of our program directors and our program faculty. We really want to see ourselves in a position to cultivate relationships with professionals across disciplines. And so our foreign language faculty are the persons who are on point with knowing philosophies of programs, knowing which cooperating teachers are really innovative, which professionals are on the cutting edge with research and practice in their classrooms. And our goal is to take those relationships and take the recommendations from program faculty and begin to develop and cultivate and maintain those excellent relationships. We can't know the quality of every classroom on the front line, but our program faculty can. So it's imperative that we take those recommendations and work with them.
As you heard earlier, our second field experience occurs in an urban setting where the focus is on teaching diverse groups of learners.
Dr. Marcia Plotkin, Word Language Curriculum Supervisor in the Pittsburgh Public Schools, will now address the role of the urban field experience in the preparation of foreign language teachers.
Preparing students to teach in an urban environment is very different than suburban or even rural. And what we like are the pre-student teachers and the student teachers to see is how it's different, and so that they can find their way through a building where students have different needs than a student in a suburban or in an independent or parochial school. And we really feel that by having this urban experience, it exposes the pre-student teachers and the student teachers to something that they would not have if they did not come to an urban environment.
Our educational community also includes K-12 school principals who collaborate with us in structuring the optimal field placement experiences for our candidates.
One example of a high school in which we enjoy this type of collaboration with the principal is Greensburg-Salem High School in Greensburg, Pennsylvania. The principal there assumes responsibility for helping to prepare our teacher candidates. To this end, he supports our efforts through collaboration and buy-in regarding our cutting-edge philosophy of 21st century language instruction. Our relationship with this school results in mutual benefits for both Greensburg-Salem High School and IUP.
Now you will hear from Mr. David Zilli, principal, who articulates our mutual philosophy about foreign language instruction.
Well, first, one of the things we do is we communicate a lot with our parents, with our students. One of the things that parents want to know, because this is something that's very different to them, and we let parents know, because our belief is effort creates ability, so we know first and foremost that if we're going to do something like this, if we're going to do something that's a little bit different, we have to support students in the process, and we know that they're not all going to go in there, excited about this, but as long as teachers continue to work with them, and we share the information with parents, and my teachers do a wonderful job of providing parents and the community members, whether it's our board members, our administrators, they have that information, so when we have open dialogue, they understand that this is a research-based program. It's not something that we're just flying by the seat of our pants. Mm-hmm. And the students are really the true evidence that this is working.
Without competent and collaborative cooperating teachers in the schools, we would not have a successful program.
We are fortunate to work with a highly qualified cadre of cooperating teachers in French and Spanish. These teachers model best practices in language instruction, and they are involved in the larger foreign language profession. In addition to working with our candidates, the teachers assist us in improving our program. Again, there exists a mutual benefit for our programs and the cooperating teachers, who report their feeling of professional renewal as a result of collaborating with our candidates and with us.
You will hear about this professional renewal from cooperating teacher Mrs. Tammy Lyons.
I feel very strongly that it helps me stay fresh and in contact with the new theories and the new methodologies coming out. It's very nice to have a young, fresh person come in and show me how to do some things in a way that I haven't thought about in 20 years. It gives me that spark to try things that I haven't been willing to try in a while, just because of the collaboration between the student teacher and the co-op and myself. I feel like there's a support there that allows me to try some things too that I wouldn't have tried.
You will hear similar testimony from another cooperating teacher, Mr. Kirk Lentz.
Working with them, it makes me a better teacher, because with anything in life, sometimes you fall into a doldrum, or you fall into a rut. Mm-hmm. You do the same thing over and over again, right, because you become comfortable. But they bring in new ideas, they bring in new outlooks, new perspectives, and I'm willing to try that out. I just sometimes need maybe a little nudge. And they rejuvenate me, they make me feel like it's my first year again, with all that excitement and that passion. Because it's been now, this is my 16th year of teaching. Yeah. And you sometimes get a little, okay, so you slow down a little, but every year IUP sends me another student teacher, and it pumps me up again, which is great, because I don't want to be a 30-year-old veteran and end teaching on a bad note. I want to end teaching the same way I begun, with just full of zeal and full passion.
This brings us full circle back to the focus of our programs, enabling our teacher candidates to become program graduates and successful teachers.
To the best of our ability, we keep track of where our program graduates are teaching and maintain communication with them. When asked about which aspects of the IUP program enabled them to become successful teachers, our graduates consistently mentioned their feeling of self-efficacy. That is, a feeling of one's own competence as a teacher. Our program graduates continue their professional involvement begun in their programs at IUP by participating in and presenting at a variety of conference venues, such as the Pennsylvania State Modern Language Association Annual Fall Conference and the IUP Spring Methodology Conference on Foreign Language Teaching.
In this next video, you will hear from one of our Spanish Education Program graduates, Ms. Darla Kiefer, who describes how her preparation at IUP equipped her for success at United High School here in Indiana, PA.
In 2008, I graduated from a really large, well-known university with a bachelor's in Spanish, and after graduating, I could hardly maintain a conversation in Spanish. And I knew that if I was going to improve my fluency, that I would have to go back to school. So I contacted IUP, and I had a really informal OPI with a professor who told me that I only had an intermediate low to intermediate mid-level proficiency. And I had just graduated with a bachelor's only months ago from a different university. So I knew that this is something I really needed to take seriously, and I spoke with Dr. Glisson, who told me the requirements and the expectations of the program, and I just decided that I was going to really give everything that I could into this. And I spoke Spanish as often as I could. I was speaking Spanish in the classroom, outside of the classroom, between classes there were conversation hours, after school there were conversation hours, at night I went to movie nights in Spanish. I was listening to Spanish music more often, watching TV in Spanish. I actually started a small club in Johnstown, just really informal, very small, so that some of the students could continue to speak Spanish throughout the summer. I went to Mexico all by myself for a month, and I knew that if I was going to be successful, not only in the program, but also with my career and my life, that I really needed to take it seriously. And because of the foreign language requirements and the high expectations, I was able to get my fluency from an advanced low to mid to an intermediate low to mid to an advanced low in just 2 years because of the high expectation.
Now you will hear from Mr. James Dyken, a graduate of the IUP French Education Program, also teaching at United High School.
I would say another thing about the program that I think really contributed to my success is the extraordinarily high standards that IUP puts on its foreign language education majors. I had friends in other schools that didn't have nearly the expectations, the high expectations that we did at IUP. And I remember as a student that was not fun all the time. I remember thinking, how on earth will I survive all of this? You know, the requirements, the mid-program reviews, and the foreign language proficiency requirements, and the student work samples, and the multiple student teaching placements. It's like you have to drive so far sometimes to get to some of these placements. But the expectations were really high, and not all students survive the program, and I think that's something that we really appreciated about the program, because we worked really hard, and our hard work paid off, and the students who didn't work hard, their work didn't pay off. And I think that gave us a lot of confidence. One of the things that I think really prepared me the most was whether or not I was, the best prepared. It didn't matter. I had the confidence. But it didn't matter if I was the most prepared, because I had the confidence that I needed. I said to myself, no matter what situation I find myself in, whether it be a rural setting job or an urban setting job, or no matter where I end up, I know that I can somehow make it work. And I think that really helped me. And when I left IUP and I went straight into graduate school, I felt more prepared than all of my peers, whether that be in the classroom hands-on teaching experience, or whether that be having a really good theoretical understanding of how language learning works. I felt I was prepared beyond my expectations. I was prepared beyond what I had expected to be prepared.
Our educational community is now complete, and we are truly a family. We are eager to welcome new candidates to our community. Once again, our website is www.iup.edu/foreign languages.